World of Warcraft lets Horde and Alliance play together. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan says they're not done acquiring just yet, and Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal will be reviewed by the FTC. This is your Daily Fix. For too long, the world of Azeroth pitted Horde and Alliance against each other, for 18 years to be exact. But now, that is finally going to change. Announced today, Blizzard is cooking up an update that will allow Alliance and Horde players to form parties together for dungeons, raids, and raided PvP. The change is planned for a 9.2.5 update release coming after the major Eternity's End patch. WoW has long based its game around the divide between these two fractions, with storylines woven around the two groups at odds, PvP structured by the estrangement, and even social structures like communications, parties, and guilds separated out in the world. So what changes are to be expected? At the moment, it will be minimal, allowing players to be able to directly invite members of the opposing fraction to parties if they are already friends via battle tag or real ID. Players will also be able to open application to members from both fractions when pre-making groups in the Group Finder tool. While within the parties, members from both fractions will be able to chat, trade items, fight together, and earn achievements in instances. While guilds and all random matchmaking activities will stay same fraction base, so too will players remain unfriendly or hostile outside in the world even if they are in the party together. Certain instances will not work with cross-faction, including Battle of Dazar Allure, Trial of the Crusader, and Ice Crown Citadel. Whether this remains true after the update is yet to be seen. So you may be wondering, why now? Well, in a conversation between IGN's Rebecca Valentine and game director Ian Hassicostas speaks about the foundation laid for World of Warcraft and the concept from which the game is rooted. Warcraft has always been about orcs versus humans, Horde versus Alliance. Comparing it to Jedi and Sith, he elaborates on the concept of choice. In Star Wars, one can choose the path of Jedi or Sith. But in Warcraft, someone is born Alliance or born Horde. That is not a choice you make. Continuing the sentiment, Hassicostas states, that's something that's assigned to you and that's predestined fate isn't necessarily something that we want to necessarily stand by. The idea that you're lot in a world because you were born an elf. You must hate trolls and nothing can change that. And because you were born a troll, you're their eternal enemy. That's not the world we want to build, but it's also not the world we really have been building or the story we've been telling for the last 20 years and going back to Warcraft 3. At the end of the day, it was about the fractions coming together to defeat Archimonde to stop the major threats to our world. World of Warcraft has always made it difficult for friends outside the game to play together with friends on communities they formed over Discord, Twitter, and other places facing boundaries whether they're from different servers or different fractions. Hassicostas says he is ready to uproot the foundational pillar of what the game has been for over a decade, but will not make the extreme jump to eliminate fractions altogether. That would undermine Azeroth's shared reality, but the idea is to redefine the boundaries for fraction identity while letting players decide for themselves where they stand with the opposing fraction. Because at the end of the day, Alliance and Horde have more in common than what separates them. After all, they all play WoW. Moving on, PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan says they're not done acquiring following the Bungie $3.6 billion deal. In the wake of news that broke out of Sony's acquisition of Destiny creator Bungie, GamesIndustry.biz Christopher Dring tweeted out that Ryan said we should expect more PlayStation acquisitions to come. In an interview with Dring, Ryan, and Bungie CEO Pete Parsons, Ryan discusses Sony's ambition to grow its online services and increase the size of the PlayStation community well beyond PlayStation's historic console heartland. Parsons added that Bungie is currently working on more than just Destiny, with the studio seeing the partnership as an opportunity to build and expand. Now, while Sony's acquisition of Bungie may seem like a response to Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, it must be made clear that deals of this magnitude take months to iron out, and it was just a coincidence that it all happened around the same time. Dring also mentioned in the interview that the new Sony-Bungie deal would push Bungie to take its properties like Destiny, to television and movies, considering Sony has pushed its IP to do the same, like the upcoming Uncharted movies, The Last of Us TV series, the Ghost of Tsushima movie, and many more. Sony has been very busy acquiring studios over the past few years, with the last year alone seeing House Marquee, Bluepoint Games, Fire Sprite, Nixxes, and Valkyrie join Sony. Forget console wars. it might turn into exclusivity wars. And finally, it seems the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal has drawn the eyes of the US Federal Trade Commission, or FTC for short, as they will reportedly take their reins on reviewing the acquisition. According to a Bloomberg report, the FTC is investigating the proposed takeover to determine whether the billion-dollar deal could harm consumers, rivals, and partners. The day that Microsoft's deal was announced, the FTC announced plans to rewrite mergers, warning that US industries had become increasingly concentrated. That sounds kind of strange considering 6 corporations own most of the US media outlets and 10 of the biggest food companies basically own every grocery item you buy. So, I don't know. Make it make sense. And that was your Games Fix for today, February 1st. What do you think about the Horde and Alliance crossplay component? Let me know in the comments. Download the IGN app on all your devices. Follow the Daily Fix on Snapchat. And for everything else, head on over to IGN.com. I'm Lars, and remember to always stay fabulous.